Hi, my name is Karen Burton. I'm a writer, a storyteller, and a professor. And today I'm coming to you from my deck in St. Peters, Missouri, just west of the wonderful city of St. Louis. I want today to ask you to believe that your words matter. A few years ago, I inherited an aunt, my father's sister. Never married and never had children, and when she came to the point in her life where she could no longer handle her own business and her own daily needs, she came to me, and I became her guardian and was responsible for moving her into the assisted living facility down back home where we're from and overseeing the rest of her life. On the day that we made the move, it was a huge one for both of us. We got up early. We had the moving trucks come to move her furniture to her new home. We had traveled the 100 miles to a new location. We had gone and checked in and gotten the furniture there, and we were at this time doing the last piece of business of our day. We were at the local bank in this rural community, transferring all of her funds and power of attorney and everything over to me, so that I could manage her bills and her business and she would no longer have to worry about them. Well, we sat in this bank where every person in the bank was essentially in the same room. It was so small. And we were working with our account representative named Sheila. And Sheila was getting a little frustrated because she would ask Aunt Wanda, "So what do you want to do with this account?" And Aunt Wanda would look at her and she would say, "I want to keep it." She didn't really understand what Sheila was asking her. And so the account representative was getting frustrated with me, kind of indicating to me that we needed to move this along because it was the end of the day, almost closing time, and all of these folks wanted to lock up shop and go home. All of a sudden, right into the middle of this, my Aunt Wanda, with her perfect timing, announces, "I have to pee." Well, Sheila's eyes pop open, and she looks at me, and she points over my shoulder behind me at the bathroom in the lobby. And I stand up and I take Aunt Wanda over there and get her inside, and then I come back and I explain to Sheila that my aunt is in the early stages of Alzheimer's and that normally she's pretty lucid, but when she becomes fatigued, like both of us are at this time, things slip away and she can't focus. And so she could not answer the question Sheila was asking. It wasn't a matter of will, it was a matter of ability. And right about the time I got that sentence out, I noticed that Sheila froze, and I heard a gasp, like in stereo surround sound, all the way around me in the bank. And I turned, and there was Aunt Wanda stepping out of the bathroom into the bank lobby with her pants around her ankles. And she was shuffling out into the lobby like Tim Conway on the Carol Burnett show, shuffling out, fussing. "There's no toilet paper in there. How can I finish if there's no toilet paper in there?" Well, the Flash would have been absolutely jealous of me because in a split second, I leapt from my chair, I grabbed her jacket off the back of the chair where she'd been sitting, I raced across the lobby, wrapped that jacket around the parts of Aunt Wanda that no one wanted to see, and shuffled her right back into that bathroom. Well, it took us a couple of minutes inside, but we managed to finish all of our human duties, get our hands washed, and prepared ourselves to step back out into the bank lobby. Aunt Wanda was fine. I, however, by then was flushed and sweating and completely frustrated at my day. Well, as we stepped out into the lobby, this silence kind of fell upon the room. Awkward, intense. No one knew what to say. And every eye in that room was pointing straight at us. I realized they had no idea what to do, what to say. They were embarrassed. It was awkward. And it was probably the first time that anybody had ever stepped out into their lobby half naked. I knew I should say something, but I was so tired and I was so hot, I simply just looked around the room with my eyes. And as I caught this young teller over by her window, she was packing up her money to close it out. She looked at me with compassion in her eyes and just blurted out in a loud voice, "God bless you." Well, suddenly, the tension just faded out of that room. She had taken the lead with those simple words, supported me, and had given everyone in the room permission to not be embarrassed, but to just recognize the humanity of this moment of caring for a loved one in a situation that isn't pleasant, but was very real. Everyone turned their eyes away and went back to their task, except for Aunt Wanda, who looked at me with a puzzled look and said, "God bless you. Did you sneeze?" Well, then, of course, the greatest gift of my life came to visit, and I burst into laughter, and so did Sheila, our account representative, who came over, helped us, brought us back to the desk, and was very patient and generous with us as we finished our business. That young woman changed my day with 3 words. Friend, you don't have to be eloquent. You don't have to be a gifted speaker. All you have to do is speak with courage the words that you feel and you know, and you will make a difference. So be brave. You take care.